Hello, my people. Welcome back to another Sacral Saturdays with Queenie. How are you all doing? How have you all been? I'm excited for today's class. This is the last section of our menstruation talk, or our menstruation lessons, if you will. Um, I am excited to share this last video with you and excited for what is to come going forward. Let me see. What is going on? Okay, happy to see you all. Let's get started. We're going to do a quick overview with what we've been learning for the last 3 weeks. We have learned about the topic of menstruation. We have talked about grief, relief, release, and now we are on surrender. And surrender really gets a really bad rep. People don't talk about surrendering very well and they don't talk about it accurately, but I would like to bring some clarity and some proper knowledge that I've learned about the word surrender itself. The word surrender means to give. The etymology of the word surrender means to give something up, to give up, deliver over. The sur means over, and the ending is render, which means to give back. It's the reflexive sense to give oneself up, like a prisoner of some sort. And I love the way that this is explained because to surrender means that you have to be taken captive by something. And the only person who can imprison you is you. Your mind, your thoughts are the things that can hold you captive. So if we are surrendering, we're going to be surrendering our negative thoughts, our negative beliefs, our negative habits, our negative speech patterns. We're going to be surrendering those things up to the mother or the spirit or the universe or God, whomever it is that you serve. That is what we are going to be surrendering. This week, I have been working with Iyanla Van Zant's book, Get Over It. And this is a thought therapy practice that is helping me get in control of my mind and my thoughts and my patterns and things. And for starters, the very first prayer that I'm working with is about insecurity and self-consciousness. That is something that I deal with or battle with constantly, thinking that I'm small, insignificant, there's no value because of what other people have said and what other people have done, but that is the farthest thing from the truth. And I am choosing to surrender those ugly negative thought patterns about myself because those things. Oh, you finished it this week? That is amazing, D Healer. I'm so glad you've read it too, Elandria. I bought that book in 2021 and I'm just now starting to really pick up and dive deeper into it. I thought like the first half of the book was just, me and my brother worked on that and then we didn't really work on the practices towards the middle and the end of the book. But I'm working with the middle and the end of the book and putting these things into my spiritual practices. And I promise you, doing those exercises and saying those prayers in the rising and in the evening before I go to bed really do help me And I choose to do them more often. I choose to do them throughout the day when I feel those thoughts or feel those feelings starting to bubble up in my chest and in my stomach, because that's typically where I am able to identify where my feelings um, are located, I guess, where it shows up in my body. There we go. And it's always my chest and my stomach, which that's the heart center or the heart chakra, and the solar and the sacral plexus chakra, which is all about um, creativity, self love, self worth, as well as your willpower. Those are those powerhouses. So, which means I'm working on building those two. And that is extremely helpful and extremely amazing. Yes, I'm doing the humiliation prayer. I have not made it to that one. How has that been for you? I'm skipping around. 23 is a big number and a big sign for me. So I'm working with that one first. And I'm going to ask my spirit team to um, lead me more or less to the next prayer that I'm supposed to be working with. I'm choosing, well, I was told to do it for 21 days straight. Say each prayer and do each exercise in the rising and the setting of each day for 21 days. Thank you, Dad. My dad's here. I love it. I felt a release. That is so beautiful. I am so happy to be sharing this message with you all because it really does work wonders. Um, a lot of people, when they say to give up, it means you're a quitter. But it really depends on the context of which you use "I'm giving up." You have an abundance of control over yourself, over your mind, over your thoughts, over your habits. And when you are able to identify what it is that you are in control of, you can understand and give up the things that you have no control over. That means you give up the illusion that you are the basis. You give up this illusion that you are the only thing holding anyone else accountable for anything. You are not the be all end all. There is a jurisdiction higher and more above you that knows more. We say karma checks don't bounce. Be careful when you play with me. That's a threat. And you are correct in saying those things, but in what context are you saying that? Why do we feel the need to sick the mother, the spirit, God, the universe on people? They are the mothering energy. You cannot do those things, you cannot say those things, and you cannot behave that way. So give up that behavior. That needs to stop today, right now at 6:13 p.m. Central Standard Time. You cannot sick the spirit, you cannot sick your ancestors on anybody to get your get back for you. If you were doing your protective work, if you were doing your daily prayers and meditations, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. So first of all, you need to give up this thought process of you get to sick your ancestors or your spirit team on anybody, because that stuff comes back on you. Now you're sicking them on you. And now you're upset because in all actuality, you have to surrender or give up the fact that the things that bother you, the things that hurt you, the things that cause you pain is anybody else other than you. I had the biggest realization this week listening to the R Spot, which is Iyanla Van Zant's podcast about the idea that other people have hurt you. If we know that if it shows up in your experience, it's a mirror and it's a direct reflection of how you treat yourself, you really do, things change when you give up the idea that someone else is responsible for your pain. When you give up the idea that you are powerless to what other people can do to you, what other people are capable of. No, if you want to see a change in your environment, change how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you behave towards yourself. You have to understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience who is worthy of being treated well. You wonder why you keep attracting people who are mean and ugly and nasty to you. How do you treat yourself? How do you speak to yourself? What do you feed yourself? And I don't mean feeding just as in what you eat. I mean, what kind of TV shows do you watch? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of people do you hang around? What environment do you put yourself in? All of those things matter. I had to release and surrender this idea that because people didn't give me what I desired, that meant that I was worthless. Oh, because my mother wasn't there for me, that means that I'm unworthy of love. If I was neglected by my father in the areas in which I believed should have been focused on, that means I'm unworthy of love. I'm unworthy of genuine connection. I'm unworthy of all of these things. And that's so far from the truth. What the reality is, 5-year-old Kiara, 6-year-old Kiara, 13-year-old Kiara gets to rely on 27-year-old Kiara to give it to her. I surrender the idea that other people are responsible for my nurturing and my care. It's up to me. I am the most capable person qualified on this earth to give me what I need. It's me. And if there's all of these messed up things popping up in my experience, I get to clean it up. You see how I didn't say I have to clean it up? I have to take care of myself. Surrender how you talk about taking care of yourself. I want to talk to you all about self-care. Self-care is not going to get your nails done. It's not going to get your hair done. It's not beating your face up or dressing down. Self-care starts with your mind. What is your thought process? How do you think? What are your coping mechanisms? How do you behave when things don't go your way? How do you talk to yourself when when you're not, when you don't know everything? Something that I've had to really work with is understanding that I don't know everything. It is okay to be open to learn something new and not be great at it at your first time. I used to behave with this mindset or this idea that I have to blindly know everything and I have to blindly prepare myself for absolutely every negative thing that could possibly happen because if I don't, I am trash. No, ma'am, surrender that disgusting, disgraceful, distasteful thought. Self-care starts with how I choose to take care of myself at the very start of my day. What do I choose to do first thing in the morning? Do I just roll out of bed and expect to have a great day? No, ma'am. No, sir. If you have to prepare in your daily waking life, why do you think, or why rather should you expect to just roll out of bed and everything be great? If the first thing that you say to yourself when you get out of bed is, I don't want to go to work. Oh, I just wish I could go back to sleep. And expect to have a good day. And expect while your road rage shows up, while you're driving, you're cussing everybody out, you're honking at everybody, everybody's getting on your nerves, everything is getting on your nerves. You know you go into a job you hate. You didn't prepare for any of those things. That's a part of taking care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself? What do you say to yourself in the morning? What's going on? What is the hum in your brain all day long? What are you thinking about? Are you listening to I hate everybody music? Nothing is fair. Life sucks and I want to die. Is that what you're listening to every day? FNIQQAs, get money. FBI, you know what? And get money. Is that the cadence you sing to yourself every day while you really desire love and affection and genuine connectionship? Is that taking care of yourself and taking care and nurturing your dreams and your goals and your aspirations and what you're manifesting? No, you undo your work every single time you do that. Surrender that. Give it up. Give up on that. You're doing yourself a disservice. Self-care is just not looking great. It's ensuring that you feel great. Be intentional about what you put in your mouth. Be intentional about what you put in your body. Be intentional about the clothes and the colors that you wear. If you know you battle with anxiety and depression, why do you dress from head to toe in black? Make it make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me at all. If you know you are clairsentient, why are you dressing in all black? Knowing that internally you absorb and can pick up on other people's energy and other people's emotions, why are you wearing a color that's going to embed that? And with no spiritual practice, how are you getting this energy off of you? And you wonder why you feel overwhelmed and overstimulated and you're battling with depression now. You don't even know where the stuff came from because you're not being aware or paying attention to you. Your self-care routine is not something you can pick up off TikTok based off of what someone else does. You have to sit with yourself, learn yourself, get to know yourself so that you can come up with and design what you need. You are not everybody, and everybody is not you. What works for everybody will not work for you. Stop trying to follow the trends. The trends are not for you. Be your own trend. Create your own. If you are supposed to be making TikTok videos of your own, if you are looking to promote yourself, promote a business, why on earth are you trying to copy everybody else? Are you even doing the same things as everybody? Are you even paying attention? If you sell body products, why are you following somebody or copying somebody who does makeup? Do you understand? If we follow the principle or the universal law of oneness, everything goes together. So if you're copying someone who's doing makeup, what you do goes before the makeup and after the makeup. So why would you copy someone who does something that comes next to what you do? If you're not even a person who is selling products, you're selling services. Why are you following the formula that someone has come up with for their products? You're a service. Find out ways that you can promote your services. And do not even think about copying someone else who already has their services. Sit with yourself. You have to surrender that the answers are outside of you. Please let it go. Give it up. The answers are not going to come from anybody outside of you. Your answers come from your spirit team because your spirit team is here to help you. Which means if your spirit team has come to help you, that means you have an audience and a group of people that are waiting on you. But you're waiting on somebody else to help you, fix you, when all you have to do is sit with yourself, ask your spirit team, use your divination tools, meditate, pray, commune with your spirit team, and they will give you everything that you need. You have to be first open and willing to listen first. And as we know, Brother just talked about being open and willing to listen. So please ensure that you do your 9 days of 9 things you are willing to be open to. In order to truly change and do the work, you must follow. You must follow and apply the life lessons of the menstruation principles. In order to surrender something, you have to know that it's there. How else are you going to know what you need to surrender or give up if you haven't even acknowledged that you're grieving? If you don't acknowledge that you have to release anything, how are you going to find your relief from the things that you grieved over and released so that you're able to surrender to the mother, the spirit, the universe? It's a process and you must follow the steps. They do come in order differently. They show up for everybody. Your signs, the signs that work for me are not going to work for you. The signs that work for you are not going to work for me. Everybody and their mother is not seeing 23, 13, 666 everywhere. Seeing yellow and butterflies and bees and lotus flowers and this. They're not. Stop looking for the signs that other people are seeing. If it resonates with you, that's one thing. But if you're trying to make something real that isn't, surrender it. You're not wrong just because you don't see things the way other people do. Figure out what works for you. Surrender this idea that everybody has this one path to follow. Your path is unique to you. Stop watching everybody. And if you struggle with copying and mocking because you're afraid to do it yourself, no social media. 30 days. No social media for 30 days. So that you really do have the space and the time to sit with yourself and be just you. Who are you? How do you take care of you? How do you speak to you? An exercise that has been very helpful to me to figure out an exercise that has been extremely helpful to me to figure out what works for me. So I was one of the girls who avoided meditation at all costs. I was told to meditate and I literally asked, is there any other way? I was very gently told, no, you're gonna have to get over it. Because the only reason you won't do this is because you're scared. And I was terrified. because I just really believed that there was the only things to uncover was despair and heartache and heartbreak. But I learned that I've already done the hardest thing. I already had the hardest conversations. I was sexually assaulted a lot as a kid. Having to talk to my dad about it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Saying those words out loud was the hardest thing I've ever done. And once I did it, I was just ready for another bomb to drop. I'm going to be brushing my teeth and I'm going to remember something I really tried and really, really, really hard to forget. I'm going to remember it. You have to really surrender and give up, or in other words, give up that all there is despair. That's not true. And if you believe that, you need to surrender that thought, that belief, that pattern, that cycle, because that is not true. And if that is what you believe, why are you manifesting joy and happiness when you don't believe in it? If you don't even believe that you can achieve it, if you don't believe that you can have it, why are you manifesting it? If you don't even believe that you can have it or that you deserve it, and if that's true, you really need to sit with yourself. That is the only way you can get to surrender. Because the other part of surrendering is giving up what was so that you can be open to what is and what will be. I had to sit with myself and ask, what is blocking me from being able to move forward? The way that I process things is there are certain things that loop in my mind over and over and over and over again until I'm able to get a soundboard, my accountability partners, or say the things out loud to get them out of my head and out of my body so that I can see really what's going on within me. I did an exercise a month ago. I was struggling with my finances because of something that was out of my control. What happened was I was released from my contract at my old job, and I had already gotten a new job, and they get paid semi-monthly. That's a new pay schedule. I've never experienced that before. So there's a pay break. I work and talk with my ancestors, and I genuinely ask them what is blocking me from being able to be stable within my money. I sat with myself. I did a breathing exercise, 4-7-8, which is you breathe in for 4 seconds through your nose, you hold it for 7 seconds, and you breathe out for 8 seconds slowly. I did that 4 times, and I called my ancestors and my spirit guides, my entire spirit team to circle around me to help me. And I just sat there and I listened. And I wish I had my paper with me because I would literally read off what came up. One of the biggest lessons that they had for me was you can say no to your cravings and to your impulses. They're just like emotions, they do change. If your why is not big enough, you do not need to purchase it. Stop emotionally spending. You do this because you think things are going to fill the holes. That's not going to do it. Your self-care and your self-work is going to fill every hole you think you have. Let's talk about this. Your emotions change. Nothing stays the same. Everything is always changing. Be open to change. Okay, so I need to surrender that material things is going to make me feel better in the long term. Holes mean you're missing something. What are you missing? What do you think you're missing? What do you think you lack? Well, when I was younger, I was in a household where some kids got to be with their other parents' side of the family, which means they got certain things that I didn't. My father's side of the family had to be shared by everybody. So when my grandparents or other family members would like to do things for me, they could not because they'd have to do for everybody. That to me translated that I'm not worthy of physical or material goods if not everybody can have them. Inappropriate. So, what do I do as an adult? Or what have I done as an adult? Anytime I want something, I'm going to get it. I don't care if I don't have the money to do it right now. Or if I do have the money to do it right now, I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff because I think I'm making up for lost time. So that's another hole. Time. Time is an illusion. Surrender this idea that time is somehow going to just run out and you're just going to miss out on everything that's meant for you. You have to understand by surrendering the illusion that time is going to run out, that the things, that the things that are meant for you are just going to pass you by. You have, to say an affirmation that goes along the lines of this. Nothing meant for me can ever pass me by. I can't miss on anything that's meant for me. Nothing. Thank you. My daughter just graduated from kindergarten. And when I get around the other mothers or the other parents at the school's events, I feel inferior. I see all of these people with two-parent households and it tears me up because I feel like I messed up and I did it wrong. And all of these other kids, their parents did it right. Do you know every mother that my daughter has played with, every play date we've been on this year, is a single mom? I automatically assume everybody else has a two-parent household, and I didn't, which means that I did it wrong, and my parents did it wrong, and this person did it wrong, and that person did it wrong. If we know about the universal laws and how energy works, we know that that's not true. I'm not inferior to anyone. I'm not inferior to anything, and neither are you. I have to surrender this thing that the rules don't apply to me. And not in the sense that I get to get away with stuff and I get to run over people and do all of that. No, I mean that the rules don't apply to me, as in whenever it's my turn, everything is bad. If I mess up, I'm going to get punished the hardest. I'm going to suffer harshly. Nothing is fair for me. I'm so honored that you trusted me with those painful experiences. That was a huge mistake I made in parenting. Fairness can also be a weapon or a manipulation tool. Thank you, Dad. I have the same feelings sometimes when I go to my son's school. It's a challenge. It's a real challenge. Congratulations, some two parents households are in shambles. You see, and this is where I'm getting at. Last night, I was at a play date of my daughter's, and here we go. This is one of the parents that do have a two-parent household. Well, I'm not going to put our business out because it's inappropriate, but everything is not what it seemed to be. There was a time in this woman's experience where she was ready to walk away because she wasn't getting the things that she needed, wanted, or desired for herself, or her children. But they were able to change the trajectory of their relationship. But here I am, sitting in this lady's house feeling inferior and small. Please throw it all away. You are not inferior to anybody. You are not inferior to anything, any circumstance. Please let those things go. If I had to accept and surrender that I did it wrong. I did not do it wrong. If I am sent here to learn, that means that I did the strong thing. Walking away when I was shown how to stay in toxic relationships is a huge milestone for my lineage. If I did not learn, I wouldn't have a foundation to stand on. I wouldn't be here able to share with you how not to feel inferior and small to anyone and anything. I wouldn't be able to. There's so much strength in choosing to walk away. Yes, there are going to be challenges, as there are with anything. There are challenges. I heard choose to stay, choose to leave. Choose your hard. Leaving is hard, staying is hard. Which hard are you going to do it? Which hard are you prepared to? I chose to leave. Chose to leave. Don't be fooled by the illusion of healthy relationships. Just because people are together doesn't mean they should be. It was this notion that caused a lot of your pain because I stayed too long. And thank you for sharing that on a live, no less. Give up. Surrender what you think people have. When you do the internal work on yourself, when you sit with yourself, when you stop thinking that it's a pain to take care of yourself and to raise your inner children and be responsible and accountable for your learning lessons, for yourself, for your children, you will be open and able to receive so much more confirmation, messages, downloads, instruction. When you release the negative stuff that's in your way, if you think that this work is BS and it's unfair that I have to do it, go ahead and throw it away. Don't even worry about it. You can stop. I'm sorry that you have to take care of yourself. I'm sorry that you have to be responsible. I'm sorry that you have to be accountable. But if you're refusing to be accountable for you, why do you think that the people that you're dealing with is going to be accountable for themselves? Because that's what I'm pretty sure you're screaming in arguments. Why can't you just own up to it? Why can't you just be honest? I would respect you so much more. It hurts when you have to eat your own words. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. It hurts when you have to eat your own words. And I have had to eat every last bite of every ugly thing I've said to another person about being accountable and responsible for how they've treated me. Because guess what? The reason that that manifested into my experience is because I treated myself crappy. My mother is not my enemy. My father is not my enemy. My ex is not my enemy. My siblings are not my enemies. I was my own enemy. It is always going to be me. It is never going to be anybody else. The reason that they were able to come into my experience is because they needed to show me in real time how I think and how I feel about myself. Do you know how challenging it was for me to realize that it wasn't my mom and it was me? When she left, I said, I am unworthy of love because my mother walked away from me. I said that. That wasn't her. That wasn't anybody else but me. Do you see what I mean when I say you need to surrender and give it up and do your EFT tapping and your affirmations? Whatever divination practice or spiritual practice that you choose to use, please do it. The mirror is there not to bully you and be mean to you. It's here to show you where you need to make adjustments. Stop fearing your own reflection. Dare to look harder. Dare to stare at you so you can see what you need to surrender, so you can see what you need to release, where you can find your relief, and what areas are you holding grief in your body. It is so amazing and so freeing to say, I am my only enemy. I am the only person in my way. I fear no one and nothing other than how ugly I can be to myself. And I am brave and I am strong to look myself in the mirror and say positive things in the face of thinking negative things. I am brave enough. I am brave enough. You have to understand when those negative thoughts and those negative feelings come up, those are versions of you that really need your love and your attention. Just like a child who throws temper tantrums and acts out because they need attention and they need love and they need support, that's you. Stop running from you. Stop being afraid of you. Hug yourself when you say unloving things to you. How do you nurture yourself? How do you soothe yourself when you're feeling uncomfortable? And stop. Oh my God, I feel so irritated. Stop running to the very things that break you when you're afraid to give yourself something else to complain about. I almost did it the other day. I was about to launch my business, my Calendly and things, and I was feeling sad and I was missing my mom. Noelle is graduating kindergarten in a few days and things are changing and I feel scared and I am looking for comfort. I didn't know that yet, but I was like, dang, I really wish I could call my mom. I really want to call my mom. Now, I know my mom is incapable of giving me the care and the nurturing and things that I need. I know that. So why am I why is there this urge in me to call her? And I can tell you exactly what would happen. We would talk for a few days and things would be cool. Then she'd want to come to where I live And I'd let her come because I don't want to like make her feel bad for keeping her at bay at a distance. She'd come, she'd do something that bothers me or gets under my skin. We fight, and then we're done again. Now I'm back on the floor for 4 days because I disregarded the wisdom and what I know. This is cyclical knowledge. These are things that I've learned over time. This is a well-known pattern of mine. My father told me years ago that I self-sabotage myself. Every time I'm doing well, I go back to something that hurts me on purpose. And I was pissed at him for that. I was freaking pissed. Because how dare you? I don't sabotage myself. I don't even see it. I didn't see it the way he did. I didn't understand it. I was completely upset and was like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I caught myself. It's a cycle and a pattern. I've been doing it for years, for as long as I can remember. So I have something else to complain about, and I have something, it's my mom, it's always her. No, it's Kiara, it's always you. So I'm talking to my sister about it, and I said, I know. I walked her through the entire thing and what this was going to mean and what this was going to do and all of this stuff. And I said, okay. Then I was like, no, I'm not going to take a shower. I'm just going to go to bed. No. I caught myself. I said, no, I'm going to go ahead and take a shower because I know that's going to make me feel better. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a water sign. Water is healing for me. So I took a shower, brushed my teeth, and I washed my face. And I went in my room and I did my spiritual practice. And guess what? My grandmother, my great-grandmother came to visit me and she told me she was proud of me. Because I didn't fall for it this time. And if any of you have seen any of the lives I've gotten from my brother or the readings that I've gotten from my brother, on one occasion, he did say on the live that it was like this Family Guy thing where he's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. And that last piece of candy, he's a little hesitant, but he takes it and he's like, ooh, piece of candy, and ends up in a box. Stop falling for it. Pay attention to your patterns. You have to be aware to be able to catch those things. You have to learn. You have to do it a couple times. And there's something beautiful about everything being cyclical. If you miss it one time, it's going to come around again. And if you miss it that time, it's going to come around. It's going to repeat until you beat the pattern. Stop thinking that every time you have to relearn something, it's because you're in trouble or because you ruined it or you messed up. You can't miss an opportunity. Excuse me. You can't miss an opportunity you're meant to master. Can't. It's literally impossible. You can't miss anything that's meant for you. It's literally impossible. I get to master it, is what you need to say to yourself. This is another opportunity for me to master this thing. I am aware. I am conscious of my patterns and the way that I behave and why I do the things that I do. I sit with myself long enough to know why this feeling has shown up. I am brave enough to show myself love when I'm thinking ugly, negative, mean thoughts about myself. I soothe myself when I'm starting to act out. I comfort myself. I know what I need. I am the best and most qualified person in the room when it comes to me. The people in my life that have caused me harm or pain were just merely here to show me that I need to make some adjustments within myself. I am grateful and thankful to my spirit team, to the mother, and to all of the energies that support me along the way for showing me me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to master the path and the trajectory that is my life at this time. I'm grateful, and I extend gratitude to every person who has ever showed me something about myself, even the things that I don't like. And never, ever, 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 I know it's not popular, but never did I ever think that I would be able to thank the people that caused me pain. But that is the only way you are ever going to find healing through this menstruation process, is if you learn compassion for those and you take the personal stuff you attach out of it. My daughter's father's not the bane of my existence. My mother's not the bane of my existence. My father's not here to trigger me. He's here to help me. My mother was here to show me the importance of loving myself in a maternal sense. She's here to show me that I need nurturing. I need to know how to nurture myself. I need to learn that. I need to master that. And just because I didn't have the example that I desired doesn't mean that I'm excused from doing the work. And I accept the work. Challenging, painful, scary, and all. I face it head on because I'm capable and I'm brave enough to handle it. I am strong and I am resilient, and my life experience is mine. It is mine. That's my track record. That's my proof. Every day that I get up and I keep going is proof that I am strong, I am willing, and I am resilient. I am capable and called, and I'm going to keep going. I don't get to quit just because stuff doesn't go my way. I don't get to quit, but what I do get to quit, I get to quit thinking that everything and everybody is against me. I get to quit and I get to give up the ugly, hateful things I say to myself. I get to quit blaming everybody and blaming everything when things don't go my way. I get to quit isolating myself to punish myself for the way that I behave when I am in communion with other people. I get to quit believing that I'm too much for people to handle. I get to give up and I get to surrender, thinking that my desires and my needs are too great to be met. I get to quit that I am not connected to anybody and that I'm not deserving of connection. I get to give those things up. I get to give up that I don't know what I'm doing. I get to give up helplessness. I get to give up hopelessness. I get to give up my fear. I get to work through those challenging things and those challenging feelings. I get to do that. I get to give up inferiority and insecurities. I get to give them all up. I get to give up that I'm ugly. I get to give up attention, meaning love. I get to give up my addictions to the negative and ugly things that I eat. I get to give up punishing myself. I get to give up that there is this entity, this being that is bigger than me and outside of me and over me, waiting for me to mess up. I get to give up that fear that if I don't do this right, I'm doomed and I'm going to hell. I get to give that up. I get to chase what I desire. I get to open myself up to love. I get to freely smile and be my bubbly, happy self. I get to be everything that I was meant to be. Everything that I feel like being, I get to be that. The man or the woman that I desire to be is well on her way to flourishing into the being that stands before you. These are the things that I get to do. I get to be happy. I deserve happiness. I deserve joy. I deserve love. I deserve relationships. I deserve all of my heart's desires because I'm open and willing to do the work. I know that the things that you have faced have seemed like they're never going to end, but you get to give up that thought too. You get to give up that nobody sees you, nobody hears you, nobody wants you, nobody believes you, nobody cares about you, nobody does anything for you. Why? Because you get to. The wounds of your inner children, you get to nurture them by reading your books, saying your affirmations, doing your meditations, saying your prayers, using your divination tools. That is how you get the healing. That is how you do it. That is the only way to do it. No one, excuse me, wow. No one is going to do the work for you. And just like everything is cyclical and you get to get another chance to do it, you're going to keep continuing to get those chances to fix it until you master it. You don't get to give up. What you can count on is that everything is changing, everything is growing, everything is blooming. There's nothing that is dead other than your belief. I'm so glad that you're staying and facing it, Lori. I'm so sorry that I triggered you, though. I never mean to. The way that I speak, I talk very hard only because I'm passionate in what it is that I'm talking about. And I'm only speaking from my life's experience. I'm not getting on anybody but me in real time on this live. And if it resonates, I'm glad that it does. But my prayer is more so that I help you, not harm you, because I'm not here to hurt anybody. I could only say that to you because I used to do the same thing to myself. These are some of the reasons I repeated these same poor relationship choices because I was afraid to launch and grow. Thank you for sharing that. And that really does mean a lot. But had you not said those things, I wouldn't be able to say what I'm saying right now. So, publicly, one, I forgive you. And I have so much respect for you and your changes and your growth and your desire to learn and how open you are when I come to you with things. I'm so grateful for that. And I apologize for being so hard. I was hurt, I was upset, and I did not understand what you saw, your stance, and how you felt. Because I understand now that it is very triggering to see a pattern repeat and you feel powerless to change it. Thank you for giving me the space to learn that on my own. Um, Showing compassion is your way to freedom. Showing compassion is the only way that you are going to grow. I know it's popular to hold hate and negativity and anger and grief in your body for those who you feel have wronged you or crossed you, betrayed you. But it wasn't until I was able to stand up for my mother and show her compassion in her absence was I ever able to move forward and be the Queenie you see on this platform. Hating her did nothing for me. And I never really hated anybody. I was just sad and full of grief and the pain I wasn't really willing to let go because I identified with it. Who am I if I'm not the abused girl? Who am I if I'm not the abandoned girl? I am Queenie, womb wellness practitioner, certified in Reiki in a series of different healing modalities. That's who I am. The protector of women and children, someone who can inspire the masses by my testimony. That is who I am, apart from the pain that I've experienced. And it is an honor, and it doesn't come without battle wounds and scars for me to be able to say it. I accept every wound, I accept every pain, I accept every betrayal, and I get to transform that into the woman you see before you on this platform. I give gratitude and thanks to the Cosmic Mother for everything, for everything, for helping me find my purpose from someone who felt small and insignificant, minute, isolated, alone, misunderstood, counted out, into who I am. Strong, powerful, emotional, full of wisdom, strong intuition, knowledgeable, honest, trustworthy, and honorable. If they can if they can help me transform myself into who they called me to be, I guarantee you, whatever it is you faced, whatever it is you feel as though you are not, you can be and you are. You just have to uncover it. Be brave, be willing, and be open to take the mask off, to take them all off, to be open and to be vulnerable with yourself first. Take care of you, show love to you, be genuine to you, be honest and trustworthy. What it means to be honest and trustworthy is, do not say that you're okay with something that you're not okay with. Do not go along with something that you really don't want to do. That is how you are a trustworthy person, emotionally and mentally, and that's going to manifest in your physical. Be kind to you, which means say nice things to yourself, even when you don't feel like you're doing a good job. That is the perfect moment. And those are the times you get to test yourself to see how you really feel about you. Be kind, do the work, be patient. Things don't happen overnight. You were not even created overnight. It took you 9 months to get here, to develop and to be ready. And for those who are preemies, I don't know why I feel like I need to say this, you took a little bit more time. There's a balance between what you needed in the womb and what you needed to get out here to be ready for what you're ready for, or for what you're called to do. Don't let these people, don't let you diminish your own value just because you don't see it yet. Keep going, and everything will unfold in its own time. I love you, and I thank you for the harshness because it was honest. Much gratitude to you. Thank you all. I I did not get here overnight. For those of you who know me personally, know this is not even something that I would ever even do, that I ever thought I would do. Being honest about my experiences, being open and communicating to public people, to people I don't know, it's a huge deal. And I could go on for hours and talk to you about my life, but I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to tell you, if someone who was abused, neglected, sexually assaulted, um, counted out, bullied, dishonored, humiliated, lied to, cheated on, betrayed. If I can make all of these things my launching pad into being and accepting who I was called to be, which is a womb wellness practitioner, helping people. Whatever it is that you're called to do, you can do it, and you're going to do it, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to be here anywhere cheering you on and being supportive of you, to you, using my tools to assist you in any way that I can. I am a secret keeper. I am a hand holder. I am a shoulder to cry on because I first give that to myself. You cannot be what you are not to you. I will say it 1,025 times if I have to. The measure of you being a good person has nothing to do with how you treat other people. It is how you choose to treat yourself. If you question something that has been welcomed into your experience, check your surroundings, check your thought patterns, check your beliefs, check your cadences, check your prayers for the evidence of what needs to be surrendered. Do the work and keep living. I love you all, and I thank you so much for joining me with Sacral Saturdays with Queenie. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next Saturday if I don't see you on my TikTok. Bye-bye.